Okay, week 12, lesson number 24. Isn't that a beautiful brown trout right there? Caught in the Delaware River system. That's a wild beauty right there. Or as Steve Irwin would say, a wild beauty. It's a wild, wild, wild beauty. Okay, what are we covering for today? We are going to cover our praxis prep. I think we're going to skip. We're going to kind of skip some review, and we're going to go right into new material today. Um, Deeper probability and a little bit of basic understanding of geometry. Because of that, I wanted to skip over the review and make sure we didn't take too much of your time. And then, of course, we have a quiz to take today, which makes me really concerned about time. So, your praxis prep. First question. Go. Always stop and start. Okay, Dominic earns $285 per week plus 7% commission rate on all of his sales. If Dom sells $4,213 worth of merchandise in 1 week, how much will his total earnings for the week be? Well, he's going to earn $285 plus something extra based on commission. Let's put aside the $285 for now, and we'll add it back in later. Let's figure out the commission, the plus something. So that's 7%, which is 0.07 times 42.13. That works out to be $294.61. Then we add in the $285. That is his base pay, and that adds up to $579.91. Okay, little Pythagorean theorem work here. Find the length of the missing leg. Go ahead. So remember, the Pythagorean theorem says that leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Now, what's a leg and what's a hypotenuse? The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. The legs make up the right angle. So the missing side is the variable, x or n, and that's for a leg. And then a leg is 24, and the hypotenuse is 25. So n squared plus that leg squared, 24 squared, is going to equal the hypotenuse squared, which is 25 squared. N squared plus 576, that's what 24 squared equals 625. Subtracting the 576 from both sides, and I get n squared is 49. Square rooting, and I get n is the square root of 49. By the way, for the upcoming quiz and test, I'm now starting to finally test you on these praxis questions that we've been going over all year long. So you need to be prepared for that a lot in the next couple of weeks. We got a quiz coming up today. Next week we have a test, and the week after that, actually, the week after that's review, but then the first day of the week after that is our final exam, 25th of April. Square root of 49 is 7, so the missing leg is 7. Now, just so coincidence that I changed the numbers here, this time find n to the nearest tenth, which they ask you for sometimes. That's a hint that the radical won't work out to be perfect. Go ahead, give it a shot. Okay, so leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. That makes n squared. So 3 squared plus 7 squared is going to equal n squared. 3 squared is 9, 7 squared is 49. They're on the same side, so add them up. 58 is n squared. N is the square root of 58, which if you hit the little button on your calculator is going to tell you 7.6. Okay, that's the nearest tenth. A $1,000 lottery winner had 28% deducted for taxes. How much was the winning check? So 28% of 1,000 is 0.28 times 1,000, which is $280. But the magic word in this problem is deducted. That means you take it away. So 1,000, take away the $280. God, I hate paying taxes. It's $720. Now, a deeper look at probability and some basic geometry. As far as the deeper look at probability goes, I want to discuss the terms with and without replacement. And I want to emphasize that anytime you're doing the probability of an or, you're going to add. when you're doing the probability of an and, you're going to multiply. So that's real important that you remember the probability of or means add, the probability of and means multiply. And the last probability concept I want to go over is that the probability of A and the probability of not A always add up to 1. Now, a pretty simple one in rounding numbers off a little bit here is the probability of being a boy and the probability of being a girl. The probability of being a boy is a half. Probability of being a girl is a half. Now, you're either a boy or a girl. So a half plus a half is equal to 1. So let's go back to our question about marbles. You're going to find the probability of blue then red, the probability of red then red, the probability of green then red, and the probability of black then red. This time you're going to be picking 2 marbles. And because you're doing a blue and a red and a red, etc., you're going to multiply. So I will do the first one with you for with replacement and without replacement, and then we'll do the next ones one at a time. So for blue then red with replacement, that means that you're going to pick a marble, pretend they're all in a bag, right? You shut your eyes, you roll your hand around. I shouldn't shut my eyes, I might fall asleep. You roll your hand around in the bag, you pull out a marble, you look at it, it's blue. You say, wow, pretty cool, I got a blue. Then you put it back in again. Then you run your hand around the marbles and you pick it up and you go for a red this time. Get a red. So the probability with replacement to get the blue would be 4 out of 12. Since you put the marble back in the bag, there's still 12 marbles in the bag, and then red is 5 out of 12. So we would say 4 out of 12 times 5 out of 12 is 20 out of 144. Just remember, with fractions, you multiply the numerators. 4 times 5 is 20. Multiply the denominators. 12 times 12 is 144. So 20 out of 144 would be the probability with replacement. Now, that one is under the condition that the marble is put back in the bag. Let's compare that, if you will, to without replacement. Now, the probability of picking a blue out without replacement is still 4 out of 12. But this time you pick that big, beautiful blue marble up and you put it aside. It does not go back in the bag. So now, how many blue marbles are in the bag? The answer, 3. How many marbles are in the bag altogether? The answer, 11. So for a blue one, first, it would be 4 out of 12. Now there's only 11 marbles left in the bag. I didn't ask for blue again. I asked for red. 5 of those 11 are red. Again, 4 times 5 is 20, but 12 times 11 is 132. So the answer is 20 out of 132. You try red, then red, with replacement, and then without replacement. Stop and start. Okay, so the first one's going to be, here's a red one. You put your hand in the bag, you roll it around, you pick out a red marble. It's going to be 5 out of 12. But then the next one coming out red, you just picked the red marble out, you looked at it, you loved it. Perhaps you gave it a kiss. Then you put it on the side. There's only 11 marbles left in the bag and only 4 of them are red. Oh, I made a mistake on this. Oh, I'm sorry, it's with replacement. I did not make a mistake on this. So it's with replacement this time. It's not without replacement. So you pick the red marble, it's 5 out of 12. You put it back in the bag, and it's 5 out of 12 again. So 5 out of 12 times 5 out of 12 is 25 out of 144. What I was getting at before is the without replacement. You put your hand in the bag, you pick out a red marble, you look at it, you say, oh, this is a beautiful red marble. There were 5 red marbles in the bag out of 12, so it's 5 12s. But then, because it's without replacement, it doesn't go back in the bag. Putting it back in the bag is replacing it. It doesn't go there. It's without replacement. It's put on the side. Now there's only 11 marbles left in the bag, and only 4 of them are red because we took one of the reds away. So 5 12s times 4 11s is 20 1/32. Let's try green then green. You figure them both out now. Okay, so with replacement, green is 1 out of 12. Put it back in the bag times another 1 out of 12 is 1 out of 144. Without replacement, you pick the green out, you look at it, you put it aside, that's 1 out of 12, but there's no more green ones in the bag. So no matter what, the probability of picking the next one being green is 0. So that means the overall probability, because we're doing both one and the other, we're multiplying, we get 0. All right, try black then red, with replacement and without replacement. Okay, with replacement, probability of black is 2 out of 12, red is 5 out of 12. 2 12ths times 5 12ths is 10 out of 144. Without replacement, the black is 2 out of 12, and there's still 5 reds in there because the first one you picked out was black. You put it out of the way, you don't put it back in the bag. There's only one black one left, but I'm not asking about blacks, I'm asking about reds. There's still 5 reds there, but this time there's only 11 marbles left in the bag. So 2 times 5 is 10 out of 132. So as you can tell, every time it's without replacement, you're going to multiply 12 times 11. Every time it's with replacement, it's still 12 times 12 because the ball goes back in the bag, so there's still 12 left. Without replacement, the ball comes out of the bag, or the marble, so there's only 11 left. Okay, let's try these 2 questions. Go ahead. Okay, so standard deck of cards, find the probability of the 5 of hearts and then a picture card. No replacement. This means the card does not go back in the deck. All right, so naturally I messed this. So I need to switch this to here and switch this to here. And let's go play from current slide. The 2 cards, find the probability of the 5 of hearts, then the picture card without replacement. You do not put it back in again. So that would be 1 out of 52 times 12 out of 51. There's only 1 5 of hearts, and there are 12 picture cards, right? Jack, Queen, King, and there's 4 of each. Club, diamond, heart, spade. So 1 out of 52 times 12 out of 51 is 12 out of 2,652. As far as with replacement, that means that you pick up, you look at the card, you put it back in the deck, and you pick again. That's 1 out of 52 times 12 out of 52 this time because you did put the card back. That's 12 out of 2,704. So those are some basic or some slightly more advanced probabilities. Not super advanced, but more advanced than we did yesterday.